We have been posting a whole lot of Mustang stuff lately. We've had the car just over a year now. Yeah, there's a ladybug. It's on your elbow. No, it's gone. It's gone now. You're good. We've had the car just over a year now. We've done motor, we've done brakes, we've done a whole bunch of stuff, but it has a sore thumb. And that's the paint. The paint sucks. So in typical Covert Garage fashion, we are going the Harbor Freight route. We're trying to make things as affordable as possible. We're gonna see how good a result we can get. So Harbor Freight, DA, sander, polisher, 70 bucks, 10% off coupon. Let's go. So we're going to wet sand, compound, polish, wax the entire car because it really needs it. So there's some things that we might not be able to save. These trim pieces, for instance, we're gonna try. I don't know if we can save them. The roof is one of the worst parts of this whole car. I don't think we can save it. The big issue here is we have so much spray paint over a lot of the car. There's a lot of overspray in places, so we gotta really grind down the spray paint to see what the real paint looks like underneath. On the back, I did a little test section. This is all by hand. This gives me hope. You can hear it. So I think we might be able to save the trunk. Still waiting on a few materials to come in. We were waiting on the compounding pad for the polisher and the polishing pad to come in. We're waiting on sandpaper. Right now we only have 1200 grit sandpaper. What we're probably gonna have to do, hit it with 1,000, then hit it with like 3,000. We may even have to do more depending on how bad it is. But we can't get that really nice polish without the 3,000 grit sandpaper. But we are going to hit the roof. We taped off a little section. We're gonna hit it with the 1200 grit. We're gonna wet sand it. We're gonna see, hopefully we'll be able to get an idea on if the roof can be saved or not. If not, we do have spray paint. We're gonna do it right this time. Not like the bumper. Now this is gonna take a few videos to get done. There's a lot of work that has to be done. We gotta fix the scratches which are all over the front bumper. If you saw a while ago, spray painted this. We did it wrong. So we're gonna do it right. We're gonna take it off, sand it down again, primer it, do it the correct way. Same with the rear bumper. Also, the hood scoop definitely needs to be redone. There's gonna be a lot of work, but it's gonna be a fun journey. I'll try to be as instructional as I can so you can do this to your vehicle at your house. I'm gonna preface everything we're doing by saying I'm very much not a professional, so keep that in mind, but I'm gonna show you the results that I can get by myself, a very unprofessional individual at home on my really terrible paint. You think I'm professional?
I am.
Man, you know, that just means a lot, bro. It means a lot. So to start off with the wet sanding, which is what we're doing in this video, we got our spray bottle from Harbor Freight. We're gonna wet the area we are working with. We want a lot of lubricant. Now we gotta wet the pad. I don't have enough hands here. Price, can I borrow some hands?
Here.
Okay. It's the most important step. Since there's so much spray paint on there, we really don't know how much we want to take off. So I can tell right off the bat, there's still a lot more to take off. We got a lot of spray paint that you can see right here, but some real paint is shining through. So we're gonna hit that again a few times until we can get that spray paint off. Then I do have some hand polish or hand sanding stuff I can do with 3000 grit to really see if we'll be able to get a shine out of it. The roof, not very hopeful. You can start to see some material that's actually coming off. There's so much dirt and spray paint on the factory paint that this is definitely gonna take a while. It's gonna be a process. That's why we're getting 1000 grit sandpaper for the top, just because there's so much gunk that we have to take off. But we are seeing a little bit of progress. We're making some good progress. You can hear the difference between the smoothness, which is really awesome. However, you can see right along in here, we got some spots right down in here too, where we still have some spray paint. We're gonna hit it again, really focus on these areas. Overall, I'm happy with the smoothness. However, I'm still not sure there's enough clear coat left on the factory paint to get a shine out of it. If not, that's what we got paint for. We're gonna repaint the roof if we have to. But this is at least doing a good job of cutting stuff down. Take a look at that. Even the tape is taking some paint off the surface. That's how bad it is. We got the 3000 on there. It really did help with the spray paint spot we had in the middle there. So now we're gonna take this back up. We're gonna try the compound, see if the compound will take care of some of those 3000 grit scratches like it's supposed to. I'm kind of seeing a little bit of shine. Obviously after wet sanding, you're not gonna get a shine until compound and polish, but maybe there's hope. Fingers are really crossed. So we're just using some compound you can get at your local auto parts store. We're just gonna put a little bit, or a lot, on the applicator pad. We're gonna rub that in, then we'll go to polish. The compounding, you're just gonna go in a circular motion, go back and forth, be diligent, don't apply too hard of pressure, but make sure you're applying enough. After the compounding, I'm really impressed with how that turned out. So now we're gonna go ahead and hit it with polish. We're gonna flip to the other side of the applicator pad. Again, the polish we're using, you can just go pick up at your local auto parts store. Coming up when we do the whole car, we're gonna do it with the polisher, with the Chemical Guys pads, which we have ordered that should be here tomorrow. And then we can really get into it. So these results won't be as good as the rest of the car can be, but it'll at least give us an inclination on whether or not this is savable. Gotta say, it's hard not to be a little hopeful after the polish. Look at that. That is so awesome. You can hear the difference. Smooth paint, and that is awful. There's so much buildup of spray paint on there. Really, that does need another round or two of sanding. There's still some scratches in there, but honestly, there might be enough clear coat to save this. We might have gotten lucky. I am super optimistic and hopeful after seeing how this little section turned out. The best way to do this would be with the micrometer, so you can get in there and really see how thick the paint is, so we know if there's enough clear. We don't have one of those. And also it's micrometer. Anyway, we don't have one of those, so we're gonna do it with our best judgment, and we're just gonna feel out, see how it feels. I think there's enough clear to make it work. But this is gonna have to wait till hopefully tomorrow when the stuff comes in. We can really start diving into this, sanding it, and see if we can really turn this thing around. It is the next day and we have all the things we need. So here's a little rundown. The cutting pad, this is gonna be for the compounding. Polishing pad for the polishing, waxing. We're gonna do that by hand. All the sandpaper we need. You see we got 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, and 3,000, so we should be good. Also from late model restoration, we got bumper brackets because the bumper is not on right. A door hinge repair kit. Also, we got a canister purge valve to help with our extended starts. Here's a little rundown of everything that we're using for this project. First and foremost, we have our DA sander and polisher. I'll link all this stuff down in the description below. This ran me 70 bucks, so nothing too major. We talked about compound and polish and all that already. So we're using a foam interface pad, which is this bad boy right here. It kind of alleviates any imperfections in our technique and makes sure we don't get any hot spots and like high spots, low spots, and sanding. It just makes it better. You're definitely gonna want one of those for this project. Also, a whole bunch of Amazon microfibers, some gloves, because we don't want all this on our hands, some water. That's pretty much it. Everything will be linked down in the description if you do want to see what we are using. So we talked yesterday about starting with the roof. We're actually going to start with the trunk just because this is a little bit easier. Here's that one section that we already did by hand. Looks super awesome. So we're going to clean the trunk off really quick. We're going to tape it right down the middle. I think we're going to start over here and see what we can do. Obviously, there's not much we can do about this right now. The goal is to try to fix the paint as much as we can. Then we're going to address those holes and correct it, put some paint on it, make it look good, but we want to make sure the paint is going to be okay first. So that was our first little pass with the 1000 grit. There's so much spray paint built up here. You can see we're starting to get some factory paint shining through. This is going to take some time. We're going to go ahead, do some more. You can see just how much we wiped off just from that first go around.
and the first sanding disc is I think a goner. So we're gonna go ahead, hit this again with the 1000 grit, try to get some more of this dang spray paint knocked down, and then we'll step it up to like a 3000 grit. I'm not gonna lie to you, that was so much worse than I thought it was gonna be. Look at all the paint that is flying off. There's so much spray paint. I ended up having to break out the sponge with some hand sandpaper just because you could see the lines in the spray paint. I didn't want to sand down too much in between them. Either way, we got this side done. I hit it with one pass of 1200 grit too, just really quick. Now we're moving on to the 3000 grit. We're gonna go over everything, then we can do the whole panel. I kind of had it divided up. We're gonna do the whole panel with 3000 grit, then we can move on to compound it. I ended up hitting it with 2 rounds of the 3000 grit sandpaper. We have a nice uniform haze going on, which is exactly what we want. We're gonna make sure this is all dry before we can switch to the compounding. You're not gonna see any shine at this stage, although you can definitely see a difference between the two sides. After compounding, we'll see some shine, then after polish, will be really good. But we're making really good progress. I'm happy with how this is turning out so far. I hope it looks good after the compounding. We will find out in just a second. So I'd be lying if I said I wasn't just a little bit nervous, but we're gonna go ahead and wipe some of this compound off and see what it looks like underneath. Hopefully it's shiny. If not, maybe we'll do some more compounding. We'll see what it looks like though. Please look good. Ooh, my goodness. Wow. Look at that. That is so much better. So it's not perfect. You can see, especially down here, we still got some scratching and stuff, but God, this is so much better than what we had. I'm not expecting perfection with this car. That is not the goal at all. The paint is so abused that it's just not going to be achievable, but we want to get it good enough to where it's presentable and we can lay a wrap on top. That being said, we did a second round of compounding, and I'll be danged, that looks pretty okay. All right, we just hit it with a coat of polish, and I gotta say, I cannot be too upset with that result. We did learn a few things under that first go round. So for the hand sanding, we can still see some of those marks, which is unfortunate. So right in here, yeah, you can still see some of this is from the hand sanding, since we had to go pretty hard because there was so much spray paint. There's a little bit up here. This area right here is really good. I'm pretty happy with that. So what we might end up doing on the next section, the section right over here, we're gonna up the speed a little bit with the 1000 grit, see if that'll do a better job with the spray paint. If it does, we might end up coming back to this section and hitting it again with, you know, maybe 1000 grit too, to get those scratches off, just really light, just so we can try to get a more uniform finish. The moment of truth though, the most satisfying part. Oh, look at that. That is so awesome. So we went from this over here, which is a whole lot of spray paint. You can actually kind of see where regular paint shining through, to this over here, which we do have a lot of scratches. We're going to take care of that in a future video. We're going to slide over to the next section. Step one, we have to clean this off. We don't want any of this dirt on here when we're sanding, because that'll just add more scratches. We're going to clean it off, hit it with 1000 grit, up the speed a little bit more than we did on the first section, and see if we can get it to turn out just a little bit better. After 2 passes of the 1000 grit, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. You can see the lines down in here. So if you look really closely, you can really see the spray paint marks, which are so bad. After 1 pass, it took out a decent amount, but I mean, we got a lot left. You can start to see factory paint shining through, but this is going to take a long time. Whew, that was a heck of a process. We're done with the 3000 grit. I think you can still see we got imperfections in here. Those are going to have to be fixed later. So you can see the difference here and here. One big thing, we kind of blended in, so you see the line was here. Kind of came over a little bit to make sure the color matches. So time for compound, time for polish. Hopefully it turns out better than this side. Oh, we finished with compounding. Let's see, the moment of truth. Hey, look at that. Look at the shine. This is such a rewarding process when you get it all done. Now we haven't polished yet, but woo! Man, I was really worried about this side too.
I was really worried that we cut too deep. It was kind of making me nervous, but it looks pretty good. And I gotta say,
I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan. We're gonna wipe this down again, polish it, and then we'll be good. The moment of truth. We are done with polish now, so that means the trunk is effectively as good as we're gonna try to get it. I gotta say, this is such a huge improvement over what it was. So I'm gonna clean everything up. So we got this going on right now. We'll clean it up so we can get a good look at it. I gotta admit, for doing this at home, for my first time doing this, I am super impressed. So we did lay a layer of wax down on just to protect it until we get to paint correction.
Honestly, if the whole car looked this shiny, very acceptable. Considering where we came from, it looked really bad. Like, it couldn't have gotten much worse, and it looks pretty good now. I'm
pretty happy with this. So next step, we gotta do, obviously, figure out the holes, scratches. Honestly though, that's lower on the priority list now. We have to work some of the overspray right in here. Next up though is the roof.
That is pretty much where we are going to leave it today. We're not done with the trunk.
So we still have some of these scratches and stuff, but we're gonna wait to correct that until we worry about this, because we're gonna have to do a lot of sanding with that anyway. We'll just go over it, a little bit more sanding, compound, polish, and we'll be good.
Thank you so much for stopping by today. I really hope I earned your subscription. I hope you learned something. I hope this helps you. So next time, we're gonna be tackling the roof and pretty much all the other body panels. Today was more or less kind of instructional, kind of showing you how I did it. Next time, we'll really get into the results and see what she looks like. So if you wanna see that, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you liked the video, please give it a big old thumbs up. And until next time, y'all take care. Keep it classy, and I'll catch y'all real soon.